Effective communication is so important to how we motivate our teams, and how we have those difficult conversations really matters. But I know they're really difficult, so in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how to handle them. Hello, my name is Jenefer. I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we will protect your business, train your business, and help you grow your business. So let's dive into difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are those ones that feel difficult to us. There can be a range of topics. What feels difficult to you might feel difficult to somebody else. Doesn't really matter. The principles and methods are all the same for how we can get over that hurdle and feel like they're less difficult than perhaps they were. So let's dive right in. How do we do this? Well, first it's preparation. It's knowing what it is that we're going to talk about. It's being specific about the issue that we want to raise. So if we go into a conversation saying, well, you're lazy, they can come back with, no, I'm not. And then you've got, yes, I am, no, I'm not. This kind of pantomime argument, which is really hard to get around. Whereas if we go in with, yesterday, I expected you to have completed that report, but you didn't. What happened? We've got something really specific. They could come back and say, yes, I did complete it, at which point we say, oh, you didn't show it to me. You didn't hand it over to me. Where is it? And we can dig in further from that. But it's already stopped that pantomime back and forth. So preparation is absolutely key. Know what you want to talk about and know what outcome you want to get from the meeting. Don't just walk in with a vague idea. And this is not just preparation from this meeting, it's also the foundations for your business. So having really clear boundaries, expectations set, makes having these conversations so much easier. And actually these conversations won't need to happen so often because you'll have been really clear. They know what's expected. Most of the time, people want to do what's expected of them. Choosing the right setting for a conversation is also really important. Praise in public, criticise in private, absolutely crucial. So any feedback, anything where there's likely to be a challenging discussion, always do that in private. And ideally, again, this is where the preparation comes in, having the right foundations. If you've got regular meetings, regular one-to-ones, for example, with your team, you've always got a setting where you can have these conversations. You've got a starting point. You've got a way of having them. If you only ever talk to people when there's something wrong, as soon as you say, oh, can you just come for a quick chat in my office? They immediately are going to have all their defences up as they're prepared for you to tell them something's not right. Forgive the quick interruption to this video, and I will keep it really quick. If you've liked this video, found it useful, you can of course hit the subscribe button, but I also want to tell you about our digital courses. In our digital courses, I go into much more detail. The videos are very similar to these. It's me, it's on camera, but there's also downloads, there's sample forms, there's a few sample policies in there as well. All the things that you need to know. We've even got some coming where we've got live classes as well. So check out our digital courses. Details are on screen now and in the description below. Look forward to seeing you on one of our courses in the future, and in the meantime, I'll let you get back to the video. And then how do we have that conversation? Well, start off by being really clear about what your concern is, and this is where the preparation really helps. If you've been clear in your preparation, if you know what your concern is, you can go in and talk about that. Express empathy. So if we go in with, the report that I expected you to complete yesterday, you didn't. What on earth was wrong with you? Why would you not do that? I expected it done. How dare you? Isn't going to get you very far. Whereas if it's, what happened? What went wrong? Be curious. You're much more likely to get a response where they actually engage in the conversation and engage in trying to find a solution with you. Because it may well be that they say, oh, actually, I hadn't realised yesterday was the deadline, or I was actually trying to get information from another department and I'm really struggling getting that information from them. And then you can go into problem solving based on the answers that they give you. Active listening is so important in this. Really getting them to open up to you. You've got to show that you're listening. You've got to show understanding. You've got to repeat back the things they say to show that you've taken it on board, you understand it, and you're clarifying that understanding. And that avoids blame. So what we shouldn't be doing is going in with an attitude of, well, you're a disgrace, you're awful, you got this wrong, you're lazy. These are all blaming statements. Going with that curiosity, that focus on finding a solution. And don't forget that if we are talking about things like how it made you feel, or the impact, let's say not having the report created an impact for you because you then didn't have it for the person on the meeting that you needed it for, use I statements. So I feel that, or to me it feels like, so that you're taking ownership rather than accusing somebody of doing that to you. Again, this is about having that empathy, that curiosity that's much more likely to get you to a solution, and ultimately it's a solution that you really want to be getting to. And that's then the next part of it, making sure that you do reach that solution, that you get an agreement, and it's okay, so next time, if you're having trouble getting the information, perhaps you could come and tell me about it sooner, or perhaps we can explore why they're struggling to get the information, and you can start going into some action planning, some problem solving there, and make it really clear that actually next time I do expect that report's on my desk on time. Now you know this is the deadline, this is when it has to be there, and come to me in advance if you've got a problem with that so that we can solve it together, and that way I don't look stupid when I'm going to the meeting without the report. All of these things are about staying solution focused, and that is so important. There's no point blaming, there's no point moaning about the past. What we need is change going forward. If you don't get change going forward, we can deal with that, and that'll be where we look at performance management processes or a disciplinary procedure. But really, we want things to change, we want things to improve, so let's be solution focused. And that's what all the tips I've given are about making sure that you get to that, and you've got the buy-in of the individual, because that's really important. There's no point me just saying you get that report to me on time, because then they don't feel like they've been heard, they don't feel like they're part of this process, they're just being done to, and that's never going to motivate people. I just mentioned there what happens if it doesn't go right, and then we need to use a performance management process, a formal one, maybe a disciplinary procedure, and that's why documenting these things is so important. It means that we can be clear with everyone. So a quick follow-up email following the meeting just to say, as agreed, this was the actions we're going to take, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. That means everyone's clear. If they don't think that was what was agreed, they can come back and question that, and you can have a further discussion about it. If not, you know it's there, it's in writing. And if it does go to a formal process, that documentation is going to be absolutely vital to making sure that's a fair process, and making sure that you've got the evidence to show what somebody has or hasn't done that they should have been doing or shouldn't have been doing. And of course, following up. So there's no point telling somebody that actually I expect in future you will always do this if you don't follow up and check that it's being done. If you don't follow up and check that the actions that you put in place have actually been achieved, and have they worked? So if we put these actions in place because we think this is the cause of the problem, and then we find the problem persists, but we need to work out what went wrong. What were our actions the wrong ones, or is there something else going on? We need to follow up. And again, if you've got the foundations right of regular one-to-one meetings, this will happen naturally. This will be part of your ongoing management process, and you won't have to keep thinking about it. These conversations should stop being difficult. If you follow these steps, they're no longer difficult conversations. They're just part of your everyday management. You get used to them, they get used to them, and people feel much more comfortable. So that difficult feeling, that thing that makes us all go a bit tight, tense inside and sweaty palms, it disappears. The conversations still happen. It's the bit that feels difficult that we want to get rid of. Whatever you do, don't shy away from these conversations. If you don't talk about it, it won't change. Nothing will change. You need to have this to motivate your team, to achieve what you need, and to make sure that everybody's working at the level you need them to. There's no point just getting to a point where you're absolutely frustrated and you can't solve it. So do follow these steps, do have those conversations, make it part of your routine pattern, and check out our courses, because they will help you to get those foundations right and in place, which will make these conversations so much easier. In the meantime, if you found this video useful, we've got new videos coming out every week. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single video.